Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and to another video. So today I'm going to be doing my May wrap up. May was an okay reading month. I don't know, I read some books I really loved, so I can say that it was a pretty good month. I read 10 books overall, I think. Yeah. And you know, I read some books I loved, I read some books that I didn't love as much, but we're just gonna like dive into all the books I read, and yeah, I'm just so excited to share them. So the first 2 books I read this month were a part of a series, so I'm just gonna show them together. So yeah, but that is the Nevernight series. First 2 books in the series I read. So Nevernight and Godsgrave. So I'm just going to talk about them like individually because I have different feelings about both of the books. So Nevernight, I enjoyed this. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't the best personally, like I liked it, and I mean I loved it, and I loved the characters most of all. The plot, like the first 100 pages was not just, it was pretty boring. It only got better once Mia got to the academy, or the school, assassin school, whatever. That's when it got like interesting, and it kind of took me a long time to get used to the writing style, because the writing style is very different to anything that I've ever read. Like, it's so descriptive, you know, J. Kristoff uses a lot of similes and metaphors, and it can get confusing if you're not used to it, and if you're a bit dumb like me, it's kind of like, what the hell is he talking about? And the like cliff notes at the end were very like, I just didn't read them. They're like on almost every page. So I just ended up like not reading them most of the time because they were a little bit annoying, and I just didn't really vibe with that style. But I really liked the writing, really got used to it, and the writing isn't that bad. Like, if you like descriptive writing, then this is definitely for you, and I tend to like descriptive writing depending on how the author goes about it. So I had no problem getting used to this. It took a little while. So yeah, so Godsgrave, I absolutely adored. It was such a great read. I got into it and immediately it was really fast paced and action packed, and there was just so much going on, and I loved that. It was really enjoyable, and the relationship that goes on between the main character and the love interest, and seeing Mia like discover her sexuality, and I just felt so connected to Mia as a character in this book. But yeah, I just really loved this. It was such an amazing book, and this is definitely so far my favorite in the series. Dark Dawn may, you know, overpower that, but so far this is my favorite book. I just loved it. I just loved it so much. I have no words. Yeah, I'm just so excited for Dark Dawn. Oh my god, like I just have no words. But yeah, Dark Dawn is going to end me. The next book that I read was Beauty Sleep by Catherine Evans. This is a young adult sci-fi novel. But basically Beauty Sleep follows Laura, who had to go into this, she had to be like frozen because her and her brother had cancer in like the 1960s or something, I don't know, and their parents decided to freeze them so that, you know, they can find a cure for this cancer and eventually, you know, be cured. So Laura is like frozen for like a long time, like 40 years or something, and she wakes up cured, and she has to adapt to this like new world with all this new technology and stuff, and it's kind of her coming into the world again. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say because I'm really bad at synopsis. So yeah, that's what it's about. And I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars, something like that. I enjoyed it. I just found it really predictable. I talked about it in one of my vlogs, but yeah, I just found it really predictable. Personally, I knew what was coming. Like, I just knew what was coming, and I don't really enjoy knowing before it actually happens in books. Like, if I'm reading a new book, I don't want to like know what's actually going to go down. Like, I want to like that's not something I want to know before the ending. And I just kind of, within the first like few chapters I already knew what was going to happen, because there's two perspectives, and if you read it you'll know. But yeah, I don't know, I was really excited for this book. I really love the cover. I just didn't like love it as much as I thought I would, and that's fine. I feel like young adult sci-fi is just getting repetitive, and yeah, if you've read a lot of dystopian novels, this is kind of what it's about. So yeah. The next two books that I read them at separate times, but they're part of a series, so I'm just gonna group them together, and that is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. So I didn't really mean to pick Philosopher's Stone up, but I ended up picking it up because I just felt like reading it. Yeah, and I'm really glad I did, because I love this series so much, and I picked it up in order to annotate it, so I'm rereading it so I can annotate it completely. I do want to read the audiobooks one day, but for now I'm going to annotate them, like all the books, which I'm really excited to do because I love this series so much. I'm sure you all love it as well, or if you don't, then whatever. Such a fun time annotating it. As you can see, I annotated the shit out of Philosopher's Stone. Like, there's just so many moments that I absolutely love in this book, and Philosopher's Stone was just it was like coming home, basically. It was just that feeling of like nostalgia and, you know, coming home to, you know, a book that, you know, you've loved for so long, and it was just such an incredible experience, and I loved it so much. And there's so much more that I learned from rereading it, like just the little small bits that you kind of catch when you're like, I don't know. Philosopher's Stone was definitely a 5 out of 5 star. Obviously both of these were. For me, Chamber of Secrets wasn't like the best read. Like, I love Chamber of Secrets. I obviously love the story, but it's not my favorite book out of the series. It's definitely lower, like it's probably the least favorite for me, just because I don't know what it is. Like, it's just not as, it's enjoyable. I love reading about the characters, and just the plot is very meh. Like, yeah, I don't know really what it is about Chamber of Secrets I don't love as much as the others. I don't even know. But you kind of see where the story gets dark in this one. Like, you kind of see the darkness and how serious you know, the story is actually getting. Yeah, I still enjoyed it. Like, I still annotated it pretty much, not as much as this one, but you know, I still enjoyed a lot about it. I really want to do like a review on the books, like a single review for each book, but I'm not sure if anyone would really if I would just be doing it for myself, because I feel like a lot of people have already reviewed books individually, but I think it's interesting to see other people's thoughts on the books, and I don't know, maybe I'll do that if I ever actually, you know, feel like writing down notes and actually having a clear mindset on what I'm gonna say, because I don't know, I feel like I just ramble on about how much I love Hermione and Harry and Ron, and yeah, but maybe if anyone wants that, then I'll do it. But moving on from Harry Potter, the next book that I read was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. So this is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series, and I read this on audio. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked the start to the series. I feel like because I listened to the audiobook, I didn't love it as much as maybe I would have if I read it physically. I just don't really connect with audiobooks. Like, it's really hard for me to connect to a book when I'm reading it in an audiobook, because when I'm reading a book I like to annotate it and interact with it and actually become like engulfed in the story. But I feel like audiobooks, it's easy for my mind to wander, and it's easy for me to like get distracted. So I feel like that's why it's not a 5 star, and it could have been like a 4.5 or 5 if I had have physically read it, but because I read it in audio, it kind of, I don't know, lessened the experience, I guess. I did enjoy it still. It was really great. I really like the characters. Annabeth is so amazing. I love her so much. And I love Percy and Grover. Like, I just love stories like this, and I feel like the series is obviously going to get better and maybe a bit darker. I think when I read the next book, I'm going to read it in July with there's like a read-along. with there's like Percy Jackson read along which I want to participate in, and they're reading the first book in June, so I want to read the second book in July with them, which will be really fun. So yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah, I have nothing really else to say on this. It was good. Yeah. The next book I read was on ebook. I don't have this book in physical copy, but it was Her Royal Highness by, I forgot who it's by, I'm sorry, but I'll put the book on the screen. Basically, this is a royal romance, and it's an enemies to lover kind of thing. I got the name of the main character. Oh my god, okay. Well, basically, one of the main character goes to this boarding school, and she's roomed with this princess, and they don't get along at first, and then a romance happens. Yeah, I'm not good at synopsis, so I'm not even gonna try to make that sound good. But basically, that's what it's about. It's a royal romance, which I like royal romances. I just feel like they kind of get repetitive sometimes, and I just don't know where to look for good ones, like good queer ones. That would be really great if there were more of them, because I like those ones more than I like the hetero ones, to be honest. But I enjoyed this. It was a really cute story. I felt like the ending was very flat, and I didn't really enjoy it that much because, I don't know, it just felt like it was really rushed. It's still a cute romance. I really liked how the romance built up, and I really liked the, you know, chemistry between them, and I love any book with a boarding school in it. I love boarding school stories, so this was a really good one for that. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. I rated it 3.5. It wasn't the best romance I've ever read, so I'm glad I didn't get it in hardback and spent a lot of money on it, because it wouldn't have been worth it. But I still enjoyed the story, and if you really want like a quick, fun royal romance, then this is definitely for you. If you like FF romances like me, this is a really great one to read. So I'm glad I read it. It just wasn't like the best one that I've ever read, so yeah. But the next book that I read was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. This is the first book in the Throne of Glass series, obviously. I'm sure you all have either read or heard of this book. I really wanted to start the series, so I thought this was the perfect time to start it. I enjoyed it. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. Basically, this story fell a bit flat for me. I did find it entertaining, and like I did enjoy the story. It just, like, it didn't really do much for me. I didn't really care about the romance at all. Like, and I know, it kind of reminded me like of A Court of Thorns and Roses, kind of. Obviously I'm going to continue the series. Probably gets better. I just didn't really enjoy the first book. Yeah, I liked Selena. I thought she was a really badass character. Like, she's only, what, 18? And she's doing all these badass things, like, yes. And I liked her friendship with Nehemia. I think that's her name. I really enjoyed her friendship with Nehemia. Thought that was really cute, and you know, we could have gotten our queer romance, but we didn't, so whatever. But I did enjoy that aspect of it, like the friendship aspect, but the romance, just didn't care for it. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed Selena. I thought she was a really great character, and I'm excited to read, you know, the other books in the series. So yeah, now we're down to the last 2 books. Yeah, so the next book that I read was Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a really hyped book, and I was really excited to go into it. I got this really amazing edition of the book, so yeah, I was really excited to read this, and I did really enjoy it. I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know how I'm gonna put my thoughts into words. Basically, I don't know a lot about mythology. I've never really been like educated on mythology. Like, obviously I find it really interesting, I just don't know all about it, basically. So I wasn't sure how I would like this, because I don't really know the story of Achilles or Patroclus. I don't really know the story about them or anything, really, aside from what I've seen in the reviews and from Twitter and people hyping it up. So going into this, I was like, will I enjoy it? Because I don't really know a lot. But I ended up really enjoying it. I think the writing was just so incredible and it drew me in like right away. It was so incredible. And I thought the writing would be like confusing, but it wasn't. It was just right. Like it was just amazing. And the relationship between Patroclus and Achilles was just so cute. Watching the way it builds up over the years is just such an amazing romance to me. But if you don't know what this is about, it basically is about Achilles and Patroclus's love story, and it's a retelling of the Trojan War, I think. I don't really know much about the Trojan War, so yeah, but that's what I have heard it's about. I think I may be like completely wrong, but yeah, that's basically what this is about. I enjoyed Patroclus's character. I thought his character was just so cute and I really connected with him. I felt like he was just such an important character, and of course Achilles was too, but I love Achilles as well. The only thing I would say is towards the end, Achilles just got so annoying for me. Like I just found him so annoying and I just wanted to like kick him off. Like I just didn't want him around Patroclus because he was just treating him so bad. So yeah, I just didn't enjoy that aspect. Before that, they were really cute, and yeah, I just really liked learning more about mythology. And this, I mean, this isn't like a real story, but it like was so interesting to kind of see the god aspect. It was just a really enjoyable story to read, and I just devoured this. Honestly, it was just amazing. And I'm so excited to read Circe, which is another one of Madeline Miller's books, because I feel like that would be just amazing. Can Madeline Miller do an FF romance? Like a mythology FF romance, because that would be like incredible. So thanks. And then I have the last book that I read, and that is Beauty Queens by Libba Bray, and I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. We really ended the month good. This was just such an amazing read. I have no words. Basically, if you don't know what this is about, this is a kind of a Lord of the Flies sort of thing. So these teen beauty queens are going to this beauty pageant. They're flying there on a plane, and this plane crashes and they're stuck stranded on this island, and they have to kind of survive and, you know, fend for themselves, all that. And it was just such a great read. This book has such great representation. It's unbelievable how much Libba Bray put into this book and kind of explored all these different issues. There's transphobia, racism, homophobia in this book. They're all challenged, and it's definitely it was such an amazing read to see these girls and their development and their friendships with each other, and the ending was just so powerful. Like, I just loved it so much. And not only was it really important, and you know, there was a lot of important issues discussed, it also was really funny. It was really funny. Like, I was sitting there like loving whenever I was reading it. Like, there's so many green tabs in this book and also pink tabs. I just found everything so funny. Like, the first page is literally funny. Like, there's so much. Libba Bray is like, I love her for writing this story. But I know that she's written The Diviners as well, which is something that I want to pick up as well, because I have no idea what it's about, but like I want to pick it up anyway, because I know that it's gonna snap as hard as this book did. So yeah. And also this book was written in 2011, or was published in 2011, like, and it deals with so many issues that we still deal with today. Like, what? Like, what? But yeah, I would definitely recommend picking this up if you want a really funny but incredible read. Like, yeah. So yeah, those are all the books I read in May. I don't know how good this video is going to be. The lighting is not good at all. I look so washed out. I look pale. We love that for me. But I just wanted to share my May wrap up with you guys. I really am happy with all the books I read in May, even if some books were not as good as others. I have multiple 5-star reads in all of these books that I read, so that's amazing. We love that. Yeah, I hope you had an amazing reading month, and I hope you have an amazing reading month in June. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and if you have enjoyed any of these books, if you've read them, or if you haven't read them. Like, let me know if you're going to read them. Let me know what you're going to read in June, because I'd love to know. I'm really nosy. I really want to know what you're going to read, or what you have read in May. Let me know what you have read in May, because I'd love to know that as well. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in my next video.